Hello, welcome to Ask a Psychic. I got my very good friend Jessenia Nozzolillo here. How you doing, girl? What's new?
Tired and stuff.
Tired and
Summer break
stuff.
with kids. I think everybody's tired.
Yes, that summer break. I'm
You
I'm
guys
doing
are
summer break
hot,
right now.
right?
Yes, yes.
It's crazy. Everybody's getting like heat waves.
What's your temperature like over there?
Well, we've had heat advisories and heat warnings, but for us, that's still below 100. And I know you guys don't have the same reality over there. So I just keep reminding myself I got friends in some hellish places and I should be thankful.
Yes, I'm. Funny enough, I'm not even in Phoenix right now. I'm in Canada, experiencing a heat wave.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
wild.
Look at this. Look at what it's we don't have AC in buildings here in Canada, so I have to go old school R2D2 and C3PO. Those are my two cool friends.
A fan.
But guys, yeah, if you have not joined us before, Jessenia is one of the most incredible ladies I know. She is very, very, very connected and can help you out with anything that you might be going through in your world. If you've got questions about your career, you got questions about love, questions about life, she is fantastic. And go.
Yeah, I only do one-on-one coaching with 5 or less people a year, and it's because it's expensive. So I keep it small to keep me focused on larger projects and group projects. And so I do group coaching with groups of people. I do group healing. I do like public speaking and events and all of that stuff. So all of that's on my website.
Guys, make sure you go to her website and check it out because it is phenomenal. We are going to be putting a link in the chat if you want to join us and ask Jessenia any questions. By all means, go ahead and do that. I want to start us off, though, because my 15-year-old today had a crisis, and she lost her wallet.
Oh, boy.
And she was wondering if I could ask you if you had an idea on where it might be.
What's her name?
Her name is Charisma Cunningham.
It could probably have been a fight you guys were having, but Spirit is being sassy about it. They were saying that she's just super unorganized about a lot of things, and she struggles keeping her hands on a lot of her things, and she needs to be more respectful and responsible with her things, that she doesn't show enough appreciation for her crap. And they were kind of being hard on her. And they were like, it's almost like she hasn't lost it. It's just in the junk of the crap she won't put away and the stuff she won't deal with and the stuff she won't organize or manage that she's supposed to be dealing with. So she's kind of pack ready and she's got to get better at being organized. Also, 15 is a really good time to start focusing on those skills, becoming a young lady. So I'd say it's probably somewhere where all her crap is. So it feels like kind of like
on the floor.
Tossed with all her stuff. She's got to clean it up. So probably her bedroom with all her junk.
Okay. We both thought, I thought that. She is like, nope, it's gone. And she wanted to go to the DMV and get another one and the whole
I don't
thing.
feel like lost. I feel like it's just buried under her crap and she's got to look through it. So try that first before spending all that money to try to redo everything.
Amazing. Okay. So that was for her. Guys,
there was this mom on social media that was joking that she doesn't tell her kids to clean their room anymore. She hides $20 and is like, good luck, find it. And then they right. So I was like, genius. Why start wars? Make them find it. Clean up.
Wow. That is so good.
Right?
That is absolutely phenomenal. I gotta actually, why haven't I thought of that? I mean, that
right. So the lesson is stop being sloppy, daughter of mine. Clean the mess. So don't run to replace it right away.
Okay. All right. That's great. Anybody want to join up here? There is a link in the chat. Come on through. Ask Jessenia a question. I want to continue on while we're waiting for people to populate here. So I've been doing a Sunday mindset live stream on my YouTube channel, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. And I'm kind of like thinking about wanting to expand it a little more, do a little bit, kind of step into that space just a little bit more, because it fascinates me and it's where I spend a lot of my time and energy, and in my own personal attention. And so I just wanted to get your opinion on what you think of that.
I love that. I think that, first of all, mindset obviously like dictates everything we do, right? So without a strong direction or focus or intention or, you know, discipline, where everything we do is going to fail. So I love the idea of that. I think you're just a person to do it. I've read you too much and know too much about you. And I think you've got really great advice that helps people stay consistent and is very relatable. And the only thing is that I feel like whenever I'm doing spiritual stuff, it's interesting. I feel like we're either too much spiritual or too much physical, and there's not enough collaboration between them. So what I try to do is give people how-tos, like, what do I actually do? You know, what are my routines? How do I show up? What are my kind of rituals? Or how do I clear my energy or connect or meditate? You know, I feel like people like the how-tos, because it helps them implement instead of just talk about it. It helps us take action and do something with it. So I think action is really great when it comes to, we don't want to get so caught up in our thoughts that we're not taking action. But you're a very action-based person.
I am. So a little bit of theory and then like practical applications that people can like go and like what we just talked about. Here's how you implement it into your life.
Right. Spirit tells me all the time, all of the wisdom in the world is useless unless we're taking action, doing something with it.
Has there been any downloads, insights that you've had in regards to just what's been going on in the world, in our world here in the United States politically? I know it's maybe that's too charged of a question to ask, but it's been on my mind a lot. And it's just, you know, I'm worried about the nation. I'm saddened by the things that are happening. And I miss the days of being able to just hash out an argument and people just being okay with disagreeing with each other, you know?
Yeah. We've been, okay, so I'll share what kind of like what I'm allowed to share to the best of how I'm allowed to share it. We have been going through a reconstruction process for about a little under a decade already. So things have been really starting to fall apart in the inner systems or inner workings of our government system and structure and how things are run, and things are being exposed. So this has been building for quite some time. I point that out because a lot of people, like, I don't like, obviously, if everybody were to leap into fear today, we would get nothing done. Everybody would panic, and then we'd have no more toilet paper on the shelves, and we'd all go back to COVID era, you know? So we have to remember that that was a good practice, and that we need to stay focused, and we need to think of what the goal is. So this has been happening for about 10 years, where we've been slowly deconstructing internally to come externally. Now, this political cycle, the reason why I don't like answering that question is because a lot of people get panicked with the answer. But again, it's just important to recognize that we can't fix a problem without deconstructing or exposing the weaknesses. So this particular political round is going to be very difficult. And essentially, it doesn't matter which way we go here, we're going to end up in revolution somehow. So Spirit had explained to me a couple of, I think it was about a little under a year ago, that it wouldn't matter. So essentially the people want Trump, and the state and Fed don't necessarily want Trump because it caused a lot of upheave and it was difficult to control. And he was saying a lot of things that they didn't really approve of. And it was not something that they could properly manage in the public sphere. So it kind of led to a crumbling system, right? Like they can't control him. They can't stop what he says. And that's why the people liked him. And either way, and I'm not saying that they interfered or they did the thing or they took the shot. I'm saying that Trump is a rebel rouser in a lot of ways. He is here to inspire revolution in a lot of ways, and he already has done so, right, in the past. And I say that without an affiliation to any side or the system. I'm just kind of like outside observer, right? Watching people play chess and understanding the process. So revolution is among us regardless of how this goes down. And what that simply means is people have to really pay attention to their contribution to this process, right? Like, you knew that when you came here. We've been working on this for over a decade. You're not a victim to the system. You are here because you want government overhaul. You want reconstructed. And this is not the only system that's going to take a hit. We are reconstructing the education system, the medical system, all of our public systems. Our family dynamics are being reconstructed. So it's a beautiful time for evolution, but it is scaring a lot of people. And I just want to remind people that fear is not the solution. You are here to participate. You have a gift to give. You are here to contribute. What is it you are most passionate about? What can you do? What can you help people with? And don't pick a side. Just remember that the whole system has to crumble and we can still be friends after, kind of, you know?
Right.
But it is a lot. It's a lot going on, and it's already started kind of surfacing, which is the only reason I've given myself permission to talk about it now versus before, because I'm not a fearmonger, and I know that people just leap into panic. So I like to, again, give advice based on what's going on so people can take action and, make the most of what's coming.
I love that. I'm speaking of what's coming. So are you familiar with a gentleman named Billy Carson? So I've been down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, I feel like he is the king of rabbit holes. I feel like he's got the keys to the rabbit holes.
Well, yeah, he basically showed up in my life and said, "Hey, Jamil, here's a rabbit." Threw it down a hole, and now I disappeared down it. And it's been about 2 months, and now I'm not entirely sure about anything in the world anymore. So, are you allowed to talk to us about the possibility of there being ETs, our origins? Is it true that we do come from a race of Anunnakis that came down here to make us, to help them mine for gold so that they could affect their temperature and their atmosphere? Is that real?
Well, I do talk about a lot of this in my book, Creation, actually. So I do. It's called Creation because it talks about the origin of humanity and souls.
Oh, that's a creation story.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
Creation.
Wait, can you show us that book again, and where can we buy that book?
It's on Amazon, but Creation is all of energy based on what I've learned through the Akashic records. Akashic records are what we call soul records. So I do talk about the Anunnaki, the ancient ones. They were some of the first soul groups to come to Earth, some of the first to incarnate here and to use Earth. And there is a story about the Anunnaki taking gifts from humans because they believed that. And so a lot of people kind of see Anunnaki as the slave leaders, and they believe that we are still stuck in slave pattern because they enslaved humanity and stuff, which we, talk about generational pattern and traumas and stuff. The brain is very easy to manipulate, unfortunately, which is why we need spirit, because we have to shatter the brain and get information outside of what we were told, what we were taught, and how we were programmed, right? Because that is what makes us very easily enslaved. So I wouldn't blame the Anunnaki for something like that. I would just say it's kind of like a problem to the system. Sure. And there are a lot of very evolved civilizations outside of the human form. And it's very difficult for them to deal with humans because it's like, we're still fighting each other. We're still trying to kill our neighbor. We're still poisoning our world. We're still blowing up our own land and poisoning ourselves. So for them, they can feel frustrated about some of those things. So they do come on, they do almost like, it's almost like, like if you have a child and you want your child to eat healthy, you might not have all the patience in the world, especially the way we grew up, right? Like when I didn't eat healthy, my mom smacked the shit out of me. Like she wasn't like, please eat your veggies. They're really good for you. Like she was just like, eat veggies. So if we think about thousands of years ago when we were even dumber and more difficult to control, like there is a sense of frustration. Obviously, they weren't super evolved either. They didn't know how to communicate to us. There's communication gaps, communication issues. We're talking about so it does make sense to a degree. But it is a very, very long story. I do talk about the origin of humans and energy and soul groups and all of that stuff, though. And I love those conversations. I think that the better question for people to consider is, it would make absolutely no sense in all of creation itself, in every single galaxy, that we are the only living beings. True. I think that that's more unrealistic than anything else anybody has ever said about aliens. So I would just ask people to consider why that would be real, because I think that's harder to explain than it is to explain that there are obviously other living beings somewhere, or intelligent life somewhere.
And to think about the diversity of life that's existed here on the planet Earth, right? And what evolution has brought us in just terms of in that complexity and that diversity. How is it possible? How could it be possible? Just with all the permutations and combinations of possibility, it's just doesn't seem at all realistic that we're the only ones. Now Bobby's eyes glaze over when I start telling him, like, hey man, you're an alien. And he's like, no, I'm not, man. I just like riding BMX bike. So, so is it, do you think there's going to be a time when the government or the establishment comes in and says, okay, guys, here's what's up. We've been hiding this from you for so long because we didn't think humanity could take it. But humanity is.
Let me explain something even further, though. And I think everybody needs to understand this part is a lot of the conspiracy theories we have are we want to believe that aliens in alien bodies dropped down from outer space in spaceships and did everything for us. But what we are not actually understanding is that the soul is alien. Our souls are born of the stars, star seeds, right? They're born of the stars. The energy.
That's a real word. That's a real word, star seed, that the Galactic Federation of Light.
It just means of the stars. So we were born of the stars. So we essentially soul groups or beings of the stars. And as the physical matter accumulates in planets and stars, it does create an energetic body or energetic component that starts to create individual expressions of itself. So it's kind of like a physical body, every cell having a memory. We are the cells of the stars in a lot of ways. So we are not all born with physical incarnations or bodies or avatars. So when we see a world that has physical bodies and avatars, everybody gets excited and they go try to inhabit the world. They try to use the world for its resources. They want to play the game. They want to involve themselves. They want to densify their experience. And not all soul groups are compatible to Earth. So on Earth, we have about 20, 30 soul groups at any given point in time that are all different, constructed different, function different, have different goals. So the Anunnaki was just one of many. We do have Earthers, means a soul's born of Earth, because Earth is a planet, but it's the smallest soul group currently incarnated on Earth, because Earth is fairly young when we're talking about planets and other galaxies that are billions and trillions of years old. So the smallest soul group on Earth is Earthers, and most of us are of the stars. So we are, like you said, we are the aliens. We are of another space and place and time. And when we talk to spirit, we're talking to things in the sky, right? We're talking to our soul groups, our higher selves, our families, and we feel very connected to those things. And they advise us and give us information on other incarnations or things we have learned. So this is how we get new information, because if we didn't have any outside source giving us new information, then we would just repeat patterns constantly and walk into walls constantly. And you can see that in people who are not connected. You can see that in people who are not questioning their reality, not seeking source, not praying, not getting information. They're stuck. They keep walking into the same fucking wall over and over and over and over again until somebody's like, you can go left. Did you know you can go left? And they were like, no, I had no idea, right? So that's how we get new information. We are guided by something beyond ourselves. And that is kind of like what we call our Jiminy Cricket, our God, our soul, our energy field, right? It's different. And this human experience is the anomaly. This is the moment in time that we are trying to learn to master.
Wow. Well, thank you, Jessenia, because now you've confirmed the madness that has been swirling around in my mind for the last, I don't know,
legitimate. I love questions. You should not get lost in that hole alone. You should have just texted me and asked me.
90 days, like 90 days. I've been like, well, I don't know. And here's the thing. So I had a shaman that I work with, a medicine woman, and I went on a journey. and set my intention before that journey and I said, I want to know who I really am. And I went away. And I ended up on a fucking spaceship, Jessenia. I was on a spaceship surrounded by people who were like very concerned with me. They were all watching me. They were all seeing what I was doing, what was happening with me. They were all very, very, very concerned about what was going on with me and what was happening in my life. And they fed me. They fed me really, really delicious, like light food. I don't know if you've ever eaten the light food before, but it was delicious.
My team has taught me love. I had a very traumatic childhood, and it was very void of actual like love and safety and comfort. And I remember some of my first connections, I was like overwhelmed with love and just thinking like, what a beautiful way to talk to someone, what a beautiful way to address something. But they're so very honest, very bold, very real, but it's so loving that I feel like they taught me how to communicate, because I wanted to be more like them. I wanted to make people feel the way they made me feel. So there's like just being in that presence, in that frequency, in that love is so healing. And, I get this too all the time. They're like, that sounds crazy. How do you even know that that's real? And it's like when I know things I shouldn't know. So when you have things you shouldn't know surface in your world and you're answering questions like you probably shouldn't really know, that's how you know that it's real. If you're connecting to something you can't ground or verify, then that's not reality, right? It doesn't have evidence. And spirit does make mistakes, right? They make mistakes. We have this illusion that like spirit's all knowing, they're growing, or we wouldn't be here. Like we're all growing, we're all experiencing the world, we're all growing, we're all observers of this experience. So they still make mistakes. And especially, if you're dealing with hauntings, I was saying a little bit of this, but I can't really talk about it too much. But I do work with murder cases and hauntings and stuff too. And a haunting is different than a soul that's crossed over because they're trapped or stuck in their human form in their mind. So they're exactly like they were when they were alive. If they were a liar, if they were a manipulator, if they were afraid, if they're afraid of the consequences of what they were doing, they can lie to us. And we can use that information and think like, shit, it didn't work because he was lying. Now we really got to trick him into like telling us the truth. So it's like dealing with any other human, right? When souls cross over, they don't lie, but they are detached from the human experience. So like they're not eyes deep in us, watching us poop and do all this stuff. Like they don't need to see everything we're doing. They're observing. So it's kind of like we know all this wisdom and all this cosmic stuff, but we don't watch you poop and do all their day-to-day stuff. So, maybe this, maybe that. And I still argue with them, which is hilarious. Like one time I lost my phone. And I was asking spirit, I'm like, where's my phone? They said behind my TV. I was like, there's nothing behind my TV. I got super mad. I walked behind it. And I realized they meant behind my TV. There's a wall and a shelf. And so they said behind the TV on the shelf. So they meant behind the TV, like on the other side of the wall. But I just made some assumptions and acted dumb and human and was like, that's stupid. And then I went over and I found it. I was like, why would I put it there? That's weird. Thank you. But I'm stubborn.
I would love to be a fly on the wall. I'd love to be a fly on the wall in your house when you're just talking to yourself, or you're not talking to yourself. You're talking to what's out there, but you're having these arguments. Honest to goodness, I would have like you.
That's a telepathy.
You would be the most incredible TV show to watch.
No, most of it's internal. That's the telepathy. That's why I didn't know I had gifts. Because I could talk to hauntings and stuff internally, and I thought everybody else could. So I just assumed everybody kept those conversations and that information to themselves.
I'm gonna bring up one of my favorite dudes here. I'm gonna bring up one of my favorite guys here. Andy G, what's up, bro?
All right, hey, wait, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, how you doing, dude?
I'm doing good. All right.
I'm going to tell you a little bit about Andy. Andy's in my community, and he came in no real estate experience at all, and has just started asking questions and just started going after it. And after, I don't know, a few months of really trying his butt off, guy got his first deal done, made like $18,000, got another deal under contract right now. He's changing his life. He's doing great things, and I'm just so proud of him. So, Andy, I don't know what you're going to ask, but go ahead. I'm going to leave you to it.
Okay.
Hi.
Hey, Jessenia. Okay. Trying to decide which question I should ask. Am I am I on the right? Am I on the right path, or I'm a little conflicted at this point.
So I was already getting some information before you started asking, and it's really interesting. When you have, you're capable of a lot, but you're starting really small. You're trying to do all the small things to get to a lot. They're saying you could almost think bigger and do more. So it's important to kind of try to open up what you're capable of and open up your mind a little bit and get more creative, because there's more you can do and more you can grow. You can handle a lot as an individual. You know, if you really set your mind to something, you're going to show up, you're going to be scheduled, you're going to be disciplined. So expand a little bit more what you think you can do. So it just feels like you're kind of on this narrow, straightforward path of like what you think you're capable of, and you're doing a good job. But like, it's time to really think of like, what am I building 5-10 years from now? And what are all the things I'm going to need to grow to do that?
Wow. Okay. Okay, so it's like expand.
There seems to be eventually, let's say we're looking 5 years out, there seems to be some connection to like travel. And what we mean is like, it seems to be like vacation spots or areas, or a focus on travel and travel experiences. So if that's your 5-year trajectory, I'd say you probably want to start digging into what that looks like for you today, right? What would I have to build? What relationships do I need to build? What do I need to learn more about?
Okay. Because I have this idea I want to pursue, and it's really big, and it's like, you know, not sure if I can be able to achieve it, or if, I don't know.
Well, better to try.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the beauty, is humans usually are so afraid to dream big that we stay small. But the idea is, when you dream big, you never fail, because even if you make it a third of the way, you still dreamed bigger than other people. So you're still a third of the way of a big dream, which is still success, right? So think big, it's travel related. And your connection is through like travel experiences, however that is, whether it's tourism or like group trips, or like, you know, staying in, you know, like, I don't know, vacation rentals or something. It seems to be tied to the kind of that world.
It's a little related. Yeah, I do feel that would like solve a whole lot of problems if I were to travel.
Think it through and see what that vision would look like for you and what you're ready to implement in that world. It feels like it feels like right now you've got to be working on making the connections, and kind of networking in that field, in that world, and then adding whatever skills you're learning to the work you're already doing.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
How's that feel, Andy?
It's she was really spot on the first the first one. It blew my mind. Most of it, it's crazy. It's really interesting. Yeah, I don't.
Love you. You're the best, buddy. I love you, bud. My man. That guy is the greatest. All right, we got some people here now. I'm gonna bring up my sister from another Mister, Sharon. What's good, girl?
Hey, how are you? Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can. Hello.
Hi. Can you tell me a bit about what my energy blocks are?
Can you please say your first and last name for me?
Sharon Lee Smith.
So these these all seem to go back to a similar theme, and I'm going to explain them in pieces, but you're going to have to be patient with me while I explain them and how they're connected. There's a third eye block, which I will explain, a heart block, and then we have solar plexus. And they all seem to function around a disbelief of one's own, everything. It's like you don't believe everything you think. You can't trust yourself. You struggle trusting other people. You struggle telling when other people say good things about you. You struggle believing those things. You second guess everything. You can get very trapped in your head and in your mind and in your thought process. That can be very debilitating and almost like paralyzing, right? So the solar plexus is action-based. So it can be fear and hesitation of putting yourself out there, believing in yourself or taking action. And the throat is the communication aspect. And when I ask, like, what's the tie for all of this? Usually when people have a theme like this, they grew up in a household where there was a lot of emotional mental manipulation and a lot of inconsistency, right? So like, it didn't matter what people said. None of it was true, or you were emotionally, mentally manipulated and struggled believing yourself or believing in yourself because there was always like someone taking stabs at you or jabs at you and criticizing you and kind of pulling you apart as a human being. So if you've learned to make that your base program, do you understand all of that stuff?
100%.
So to heal that, it is healable. Like we said, I like action. I like change. I help people heal all the time. We actually do have a Discord group where we work on stuff like this, where I give everybody homework and they go do their homework based on astrology and the energy we're all working on and the themes we're all working. We support each other in our healing. I am a trauma survivor, so I have a whole bunch of shit I had to go through to help me be the person I am today. So the action I would take for this are, you need consistency and discipline in order to learn to trust yourself, because the only relationship that matters now that you're an adult is a relationship you have with yourself. So you need to treat yourself like the person who should have shown up, the person who should put you first, prioritize you, show up when they say they're going to show up, make sure you drink water, make sure you sleep, make sure you're taken care of, right? You have to be that person for yourself. And you have to get really good at stepping out of your mind once you feel something in your gut and in your heart, right? Just get out of the mind for a minute and take action, or you will get trapped in that cycle of paralysis again, where like you're not taking any action at all and you're just stuck in emotion or at the thought. So make a plan, but then make yourself go through it, and maybe get an accountability coach, like a friend that really loves you and wants to see you grow is really, really good for this. Because if you're like, I know I have to do the thing, I struggle with doing the thing, I have a plan, I'm going to do it this day, will you come with me? They're going to show up with coffee, they're going to make you do it, they're going to hold your hand, they're going to make you do the thing, and you'll realize like, oh, it wasn't that scary. It actually feels good to take action, and then it'll help you work with that a little bit better.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, thank you for having the courage to ask that question.
That was I know Sharon really well, and that was, my goodness. Yep. Pretty incredible. Love you, Sharon.
Love you too.
How fun. This is such a good time. I love it when we get some brave people up here really wanting to dive in. So Sydney, turn your camera on. I'm going to bring you up. Also, while she's doing that, there's boys in the chat, Jessenia.
I told her that she could rock without the camera on.
She's got it. She's got it on. She turned it on. There's boys in the chat that want to ask you on dates.
Oh gosh. No, I just lost a friend. He passed away in January, and I'm having a hard time like not letting go, but someone told me I gotta let go. And I've been like on this spiritual thing. I don't know. I just don't know how to let go of it.
Well, I actually think that the healing comes with realizing we don't ever actually have to let go. Like, our loved ones are literally always with us. They're always advising us, supporting us, there for us. And the pain is that grief will silence all that. Like, we get so stuck in our grief and our illusion of detachment. It's like, we're like, I can't see you. I can't see you. I can see you. And they're like, I'm literally right here. I'm literally right here. I'm literally right here. I'm here with you. I still have conversations with my grandfather who died 15 years ago, but he still plays an active and really aggressive role in my life. And if I'm not open or aware to seeing that, then I'm going to miss all of that beauty in the fact that he's still able to positively affect me and help us and support us and teach me.
Right.
I think that that's an illusion. And I would say, don't let yourself be, like, don't let people say that to you and then take it as like, there's something wrong with me. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Okay. Because like my dad died too a long time ago, and I've just recently felt like I can feel him with me, and I feel him. I'm happy about it, and I feel he's like there with me, but not with my friends so much. But I don't know if maybe because I found him. But
What's his name?
John Gerhardt. I keep him with me.
He's yeah, he was a really complex person in a lot of ways. It feels like he was struggling with some heavy emotion and depression, but wasn't necessarily ready to go. So there's like this weird, like ready but not ready, ready but not ready. So he's got a lot of strong and heavy emotions still attached to him. And I think the reason you're struggling is because he's really still there and also struggling. So if anything, can you make it your effort or your goal to help him find peace, help him kind of transition. It just feels like it was very sudden and shocking for him. And it's weird because it almost feel like he expected it too. So it's like he expected it, but maybe not exactly at that moment, at that minute, at that time. And like, he's still struggling letting go of that. So you're in a really powerful position to help him as one of the persons he cared about the most and one of the people he's anchored to the strongest. And that's like giving him permission to heal. And he will always be a part of your life, but he won't be here suffering the way that he is right now. So I think that's why you're feeling that heaviness and that emotion, because that is really confusing and very, very heavy, very overwhelming energy to have to deal with and feel every day. Like he's still here haunting, he hasn't found peace, but you can help him, and that's by saying like, it's time for you to heal. You can come back, you can visit me, you can help me, you can be a guide, you can be a part of my life, but you have to heal first because nobody deserves to suffer like that. Nobody deserves to live in that type of confusion.
Right. I took him today to have this little urn that I had made for him. Me and my twins went today to the mountain, and we dumped a little bit of them out up on the mountain today. And I told him, we miss you and we love you and we wish we're here, but you can't be in. I gotta get out of this funk that I'm in for missing you, So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Welcome. Good luck with that. I hope that he finds peace. And I do believe you have the power to do that for him, to help him.
Okay, cool. Thank you. I appreciate it so much.
So sorry for your loss.
Wow, that's heavy. Incredible. I mean, I'm certain she's sitting over there right now, like, whoa. We're gonna keep going
today, huh?
Yeah, I mean, you know what? We do what we do.
Aliens, like souls, Anunnaki, like all kinds of stuff today. Dead people, all kinds of.
Yeah, we're getting in it. We're getting in it. Michael Sigler, what's going on, dude? Take it away.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi.
Yeah, I have a couple questions. I'm a very high energetic person. I've became very spiritual recently. I've also just switched my career. I've joined Astro Flippers, and it seems like from time to time I change my career choices, and I feel like I never really learned and grasped one thing to really master it. I just want to ask, like, right now, does my aura show you? Am I on a good path? Am I, trying to do the right things to succeed in life?
Can you say your first and last name for me, please?
Michael Sigler.
So, lots of stuff coming through. So you, it feels like, astral flipping and real estate and stuff is a really good foundation, but you need a lot more creativity and a lot more like hands-on work. And you are a natural channel and healer. So you have some stuff you've got to activate, some stuff you've got to work through, but you find yourself gravitating to more like humanitarian causes and people and healing people and working with people. And like communication is really important for you. even like singing being very healing and therapeutic. So there's a lot of this world that you haven't even begun to explore or tap into, but you do need, it feels like, a foundation before you move on into this realm. So there's something here about kind of being your own healer and teacher, and like having a community of people that you can help and support and work with. And it feels like you're drawn to what we would kind of see as you have a very strong humanitarian heart, and you have a big theme with humanitarian work in other lives and experiences. So it's likely something you've always been kind of called to leave a larger imprint, help more people, like help the disadvantaged, and do more work in that world. And it feels like that's where you feel more challenged. That's where you feel more inspired. That's where you feel like you have purpose again. Does that make sense?
Yeah. A lot of the work I do, I've always been in sales or customer service, and I take a lot of gratification when I see someone, when I actually help someone out. So it like really uplifts me a lot. And I have an awesome, free-spirited personality, huge animal lover. Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Good luck with that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great to see you, Michael. All right, gonna keep it pushing here. Matt Duke, what's up, Baldy? Good to see you, bro.
Yo, hello.
Take it away.
Hi, we haven't met. I don't even know your name, actually. What's your name? That's my question.
Jessenia.
Jessenia. I'm Matt Duke. I got out of the shower. I saw Jamil was streaming. I go, this looks awesome. And he says, come on in, Matt. So I don't exactly have a question, and I have never interacted with anybody that is a psychic. So is there some kind of a beginner-friendly intro type thing, or something that we can get started here that dives into something deeper? Because I don't know what questions to ask you.
Let's just do a general check-in then, maybe. I don't know. Will you want to say your first and last name for me?
Sure. It's Matthew Duke.
You are an incredibly unique person in some ways. And it's just like the way you're constructed. It feels like you have a theme of maybe being like ostracized or feeling different. And it has to do with mostly the way you communicate and interact with the world. And they're saying that that's been a really interesting theme, but that's also essentially your gift. Like one of your greatest gifts is you see things differently, process things differently, your brain functions very differently. So it's like a magical gift you have, but it feels like most of your life has kind of been your cage. And they want to like rewrite that script for you and say like, listen, no, it's your gift. You have to pay attention to how this has been beneficial, how it helps people, how people need you to solve their problems and help you. You kind of shift the way people see things. You can see everything differently because you're like on the outside of it. You're good at removing emotion from the equation. You're good at problem solving, and you have a very, I would say for me, it seems like computerized brain in some ways. Like you can solve programs a lot faster than a lot of people or issues. And they want you to see it more like the gift that it is and not a trap, because that's what you were sent here to do. And we are at the precipice of a major technological revamp globally, right? So technology will eventually run the future. So I'd say you have a very important job. And it's to do more of that and to let that be your gift to the world and not treat it like a trap or a cage. Does that make sense?
Yes. Thank you.
Very welcome. Thank you for having the courage to jump on and try something new.
Now, I know Matthew, and I'm just going to say that creeped me out a little bit because that's exactly what he is. I mean, he's an analytical guy. He's very, very, very technologically minded. And the way that he approaches things is very unique. So that was very, very cool. Good to see you, Matt. Love you, bro.
Love you, bro.
Next up, I love this lady. Man, Anne's on my team. She's my favorite person.
Why'd you say that? I didn't want to tell her that.
Oh shit. Well,
no more things.
You should have texted and said, Jamil, shut your mouth. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. Bye.
I can just generally assume everybody is somehow on Jamil's team or on his page or on something. So that's just a general assumption. But if you have any questions, do you have a question or do you want a general message?
I was just wanting a general check-in. I would really like to know I've had, of course, negative people and positive people in my life that have passed away. And I would just like to know if any of them is around and if it's positive or negative.
I don't think that there's any such thing as like a negative thing. All hauntings are going to take from us because they have to siphon energy from their environment and such. And I have a rule with connecting with spirit, and it's that I don't just pull up anybody, because we can all have hauntings or wanderers or stragglers in our house that aren't someone we should be connecting to or attached to. But if you, and I try not to do mediumship sessions live because it is a stronger connection and there's a lot of tears and stuff. The difference with Our Lady earlier was he was haunting, he was right with her. And so it was like a little bit different to pull him through and talk to him and see what's going on. So if you have a specific person you want to question with, as long as it's not too emotional, I'm not trying to cry live. Yeah. If it was like a young child or something horribly tragic, I'm not sure I'm ready for that right now.
Liz.
I need a first and last name.
Liz Lucas.
About 15 seconds behind me.
So I try to establish a personality when I connect with someone, and I'm seeing someone who's like has a bad memory and is losing everything, and like she is looking for something and like wrote something down and can't find it, and she seems like flustered about that and frustrated. There also seems to be a very I'd say a good and almost like dark sense of humor too, that like she has a great humor and everything's funny, but also sometimes it's inappropriate, so she's always like pulling stuff up that maybe she shouldn't be and saying stuff she maybe shouldn't be, but that's also a lot of fun. There is a lot of I would say, it's really interesting. It looks like darkness, but it surfaces like wisdom. And I'd say that she likely just had a lot of challenges in life that she was strong enough to overcome. And it surfaced as this like deep wisdom that she would share with people, even though she had this amazing sense of humor. You confirm these things there, Liz?
Yeah.
Is there anything, I mean, she's with you and she's fun and she's just spicy. Like she loves life. I do feel like her main job is companionship and that wisdom, and also the inspiration to get through difficult times. Those are the gifts she was really good at, right? Like she went through some stuff, but you might not ever really know she went through stuff because she just made it lighthearted and joked about it and then gave this like super profound wisdom. So I feel like when you need, support to those things, she can really help you. She can show up, she can support you, she can guide you through it. As for like needing help herself, she feels like she's in a really good place. Like she feels like she's at peace and not taking from your world in any negative way or anything like that. Just hoping to give back. And for her, it's more like, she's so funny. It's like, she doesn't like that I'm being proper. She's like, give back. I'm nosy as hell. Like, I want to spy. I want to watch. I don't want to miss anything. I want to see everything she's doing. Like, oh, okay. So she's more bolder than I am with my language. But that's her way of showing up. Like, she wants to see everything you're up to and be a part of it. It feels very like friendly, like best friend kind of energy. Like she's always there with you, doing that, watching you still, doing stuff with you, being silly with you.
Yes, she was. I'm going to try not to cry. She was really important to me. So thank you.
Welcome. Thank you so much for giving me the privilege of connecting with her.
How was that, Anne? That was crazy, right? A little spot on with your friend?
Yeah, it was awesome.
How nice is it? How nice is that to know, though, right?
It's really great.
Okay. Love you, Anne.
Thank you.
Of course. All right, we'll keep it going. You let me know, Jessenia, when it's time, because I know you get this is the hardest on you. So we'll keep it going until you say. All right, here we go. We got Milena. Hi, Milena. Take it away.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Okay, so the problem I have right now is that
I can't really hear
so
you.
where I am right now. Can you hear me now? Hello, it's kind
It's
of
like
glitching on me.
in and out
Yeah.
of. It's in and
How
out of
about now?
service. A little bit. Did you write this? Is this your question, Milena?
Is it about how I'm in a good position? I'm happy. I'm married. I have my kids. My husband's in the army. But yet, as much as I feel blessed, I'm happy. But as much as I try to push forward, try to make something better of my life to offer my kids, I feel like something's holding me back. I feel like I can't move forward, and I don't know how to get out of there. I feel like stuck in a hole, and no matter what I do, I don't feel like I'm moving forward. I feel like I'm stuck there or I'm moving backwards.
Okay. Let me see. Let me see what Spirit has to say about that. Hold on a second. You have some. Your energy is really interesting, and so I want to explain something. I'm going to explain a couple things publicly, but I'm going to invite you to reach out to me privately so I can help you with some of these things, because they're going to be a little bit more complicated than just giving you some bits and pieces live, and I don't want to leave you hanging like that. But one of the things I've learned with working with people who seem to have bad luck is that bad luck is guilt. That there's always this pattern of guilt somewhere, that they don't think they're worthy. They don't think they're worthy of good things, worthy of love, worthy of happiness, and they somehow don't even allow it. They reject it in everything around them. But the even worse part about this is I do heal past lives. I do clear past lives. It seems to be surfaced in past life traumas where we did something we can't forgive ourselves with, or we can't let go of something, or we don't feel lovable. So we don't think we're worthy. So this is deeper than just this life. It feels like it's deeply connected to your energy field, and that there's you feel almost like a vortex. Like people might even feel worse around you sometimes, where they think like, why is this so heavy? And you can't explain it. You try to be a good person. You try to be cheerful. You try to be happy, but even other people might feel down in your energy field because of it. It like pulls people in to the sadness. So I want to look into it more for you and release that for you and help you work through it. There seems to be some tie to family, and it's just the aggressiveness of the negativity and patterns that it feels generational. Like, if you look at your grandparents and stuff, how do they talk to each other? How do they function? There seems to be a heaviness and a disrespect and a lack of love and connection that perpetuated over and over and over and over and over again, and you're carrying all that weight. So again, I want to help you with it. I don't just want to tell you that all of this is messed up and let you hear in this like heaviness, but it's generationally connected, which you can confirm based on your parents, grandparents, and all of the above, right? It's a heavy pattern. It's also energetically anchored to you. There's something deeper. And it does feel like bad luck. It feels like a heavy darkness, and that pulls in more darkness, more challenge, more issues, even if you just are trying to live a simple, happy life. So I can help you with that, but you're going to have to reach out to me privately to do that.
Yes, thank you.
Make sure you can reach out to her on her website. You'll find her contact information there, her email. Send her an email. All right, love?
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. Take care. Okay. Trying to keep the order here because people were popping in, popping off. I believe it is this hairy man right here. What's up, Joel?
Hello, Jamil. How you doing?
Hi. Good. How you doing, handsome? All right, take it away.
Good. All right. I think it's probably tell some stuff about me, but similar to last one is like there's like some blocks I feel lately like burn out a lot and like strain or like sleep, like horrible sleep problems if you can see lately. So like you know, in life you feel like uncertain about things, right? And like burn out, like you don't know if things will go your way or if you will like survive or like what happens right next. So like
You'll
always
survive.
that fear.
Oh, that's
I've been
terrible.
stuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like lately I was like wondering, will God like take me to the next level and all? So like there were some signs I was getting like fear about it, but same time not fearful, but like it's like time to like move on, become a little bit better, but like you feel so stuck into one thing. It's like you don't know what's gonna be happening, so like you become completely stagnant. So like
Right. So
you can
a couple of things are going on with you that you need to understand. Your what we call it the third eye is overactive. So overactive third eye means that you're again trapped in like your thoughts, your visions, your ideas, but it's so overwhelming that you can't take action because you're like living in the future and you're thinking of all the possibilities. That's exhausting, right? We don't need to think of all the possibilities. We need to think of the one road that makes sense to us, and then we'll find all the possibilities to get there. So that's a smaller umbrella so we can stay more focused. And nobody takes action if they're unsure of the road ahead of them. That's where the fear comes in. Like, how do you take a first step if you see a million possibilities? You have to get really good at clearing that up for yourself. And here's the beauty of it. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus, and I pray to them all the time, but they're not going to come down here and move my body for me. They're not going to come down here and electrify me and make me do the thing. They're going to support whatever road I'm on. They're going to try to encourage me and be like, you can do more. Let's push a little further, show up. And then they're going to challenge me when I want to stay stuck because they know what my goal is. And they're going to help me reach my end goal. Just like a trainer at the gym, we want muscle. That shit hurts. And a good trainer is going to push you to your limit and make it hurt, right? Because they know your potential and they want you to meet your goal. They want you to get stronger. So humans have a really weird pattern of staying stuck because of fear. We want repetition. We want comfort. Our brain wants comfort. Our brain wants repetition of a pattern. It wants consistency. So when we break that mold, right, there's the fear, something new. I'm trying something new. I've got to retrain my brain to like new things. So you can't listen to the fear. Never, ever make a decision out of fear. And try to get clear on your vision or your goal. And I remember I talked to you, and I know that you're very intuitive and that you have the ability to kind of like see things and manage things and deal with things, but you can't be seeing a million things at once. You have to stay focused on your goal and you have to stay focused on the present. So the best way to make a plan is to actually focus on the present. What is it that I feel today that gives me the most passion, that makes me feel most alive? That is the one thing I could talk about for an hour if I had no prep time, no time to explain. That's your mastery. Now you take that and you say, Spirit never wants you to do anything new. Those are your tools. That's your mastery. How are you going to implement that 5 years from now? What's the end goal with that road? Where are you going to put that skill set? And then you can start seeing from there. And then you get your vision from there. But if you're stuck in what ifs, you're going to paralyze yourself in fear. You will never take action. You'll feel stuck. You'll feel afraid, and you won't do anything.
Yeah.
Dang. Wow.
We will be alive, right? We will make it to the end, right?
You're here.
You're your free will. So make good decisions. I can't guarantee you are going to be around forever if you make dumb decisions, but you have free will. So yeah, you can make a beautiful life out of this. And we all have that opportunity to do that.
Love you, buddy. How you feeling, Jessenia?
I'm tired and sweaty.
You ready? You have it in you for one more.
I think I'm good for tonight. I love reading people. I have 6 kids, and by the end of this is my end of the day. 8 o'clock's my bedtime. So I come on here and it's like my end of the day spree. We have fun and then I go sleep.
That's it. Guys, I'm going to put again in the chat here. We've got Jessenia's Facebook group that you can join. You can also go to her website and become a part of her community where she does community group work. She's helping people with healing. She does all kinds of things. Make sure you check out her website. And one more time, if you would, your website, please.
It's soularchitect.com.
Soularchitect.com. Also, check out her book on Amazon, Creation. I'm about to order that myself. Jessenia, I love you.
Love you too, Jamil. Thank you for having me. And thank you, everybody, for asking the amazing questions. It was a lot of fun.
Bye.